Hello everyone, my name is Pankaj and I'm your Beyond Exams instructor. So let's get started. In the last video, we had fixed a small issue that was arising in the responsiveness of Chrome. Let's quickly go to the terminal, get status. I see there is some change. Let's see what the change is. So as you can see that meta viewport line has been added and there is no other change. I'll quickly go ahead and add this file to Git, ask it to commit it with a message Chrome responsiveness issue fixed. Always write a suitable commit message. I'll quickly push it to my master branch. Alright, please make sure you keep committing the way I am. Try to commit more frequently than I am, so that you have a very good version of your code. हो सकता है आप लोग exactly वैसे ना follow कर रहे हो जैसे हम बना रहे हो, तो अगर थोड़ा बहुत भी modification है, commit accordingly so that you can recognize each feature, each bug fix separately. ठीक है, so in what will we do in this video? In this video, we will personalize the last component of our website that we have built so far. We have already modified the navigation drawer, we have modified the side navigation, we have centerlined the text. Time to finally change this slideshow, so that instead of showing these winter, summer, mountain pictures, it shows pictures that we want related to Beyond Exams. This will be the last phase of our personalization before we move forward to building the rest of our website. Now, what are the things that we can change here? We can definitely change this image. I see here there are captions, so we can change the captions as well. Let's quickly go ahead. So this section is supposed to represent our services. I'll use a mix of Hindi and English to make it easier for you guys to understand. तो इसमें our services के images यहाँ पे लगेंगी. लेट्स सी कि बियॉन्ड एग्ज़ाम्स किस किस टाइप की सर्विसेज ऑफर करता है. पहले तो बियॉन्ड एग्ज़ाम्स पे आर सर्विसेज पे जाएं तो फर्स्ट इज़ यू कैन लर्न एनी स्किल, जैसे कि कोडिंग में डेटा साइंस, वेब डेवलपमेंट एंड एनी अदर स्किल. आप लोग अभी वेब डेव सीख रहे हैं, फ्रंट एंड वेब डेव सीख रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट, अगर आपको अपने कोर्स का कोई सिलेबस रिवाइज़ करना है, लेट्स से आपका कोई छोटा भाई बहन है 6th क्लास में, उसको जियोग्राफी रिवाइज़ करनी है, वी हैव ईच चैप्टर मैप्ड आउट, तो हम लोग रिवाइज और सिलेबस से कर सकते हैं. और कोई सर्विस भी अच्छी, यूट्यूब की प्लेलिस्ट्स को बियॉन्ड एग्ज़ाम्स के कोर्सेज में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं इन लेस दैन 2 minutes. दिस सीम्स लाइक एन एक्साइटिंग सर्विस जिससे लर्निंग कैन बी मेड ईजियर. तो लेट्स से कि दीज आर द 3 सर्विसेज दैट आई वांट टू ऐड हियर फॉर दीज 3 पिक्चर्स. सो क्विकली आई विल टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट. तो आई एम यूजिंग मैक, so you just need to search screenshot or screen capture if you're on Mac. If you're on Windows, you can simply search here take screenshot of a section in Windows laptop, something like this, and you will find what is the shortcut. If you have print screen key on your laptop or computer, you simply press Ctrl plus print screen and it will give you a lot of options. You can also use snipping tool by searching snipping tool on your start menu. Click start, a snipping tool will start and you can start selecting a specific area. For Mac users, I'll simply press screen capture. This bar arises. First thing I want to do is learn a skill. I want people to learn coding as a service of Beyond Exams, and I want to add this section which contains all these. Okay, I'll capture this image. Perfect. Show in Finder. So this is the image. I'll first change the name to coding skill through BE, and I'll copy it, make a copy. I'll paste it inside the folder of my project, which is my first website. Here are all the files. I'll paste that file as well by pressing Ctrl C for copy and Ctrl V for paste. Similarly, before adding more, let's try to add this on our web page. How do we do that? First we find out where is this image set. Easy, go to inspect element, right click, inspect element, click this selector tool, select this, and you'll notice that image src image nature y.jpg, this is the HTML code that is responsible for generating this image, right? So let me quickly search img space src in my code, control F, img space src. There we go. We have 3 images, one is for first slide, one is for second slide, one is for third slide. Since I already downloaded this image, coding through BE, I'll quickly paste it here, coding through BE. I'm pasting it in the source of image tag. If you haven't used image tags before, now would be a good time to go to Google, search img tag HTML, and read about why we use it, how do we use it, what are its properties. Alright, I've added this image. Let's see if it has changed anything. So yes, I can see my image now, but there are some very fundamental problems that are arising. First is my slideshow is no longer small, it has become very big. It is taking more than a single frame. Second thing is this right and left, previous and next buttons are almost hidden. Why? Because of this white background. In the other images, this is what looks good, and this white is kind of visible as well. Why? Because the background is darker, not white. But in this case, first of all, this previous and next is not visible because background is white. Second, this image is too big. How do we fix these things? So let me also check in mobile view, how does it look. Okay, so it is responding well, but it would be great if all 3 are of same size, and our picture seems too big right now, right? So we will have to crop this image. How do we do that? First we need to find out the right image size. So in this slideshow they have already used image snow white.jpg, whose dimension I kind of like, right? This image dimension I like. So let's quickly double click on this image. In IntelliJ IDEA, when you double click an image, it opens it here and also shows what is the dimension of this image, which says 1000 into 350, 1000 pixel into 350 pixel. You can also do the same by going here, inspect element, click on this image. On the rightmost side, you will notice that it mentions the size of the component, what is its padding, what is its border, what is its margin. Padding, border, margin are the 3 CSS properties, and finally it also mentions the size. If you are using it this inspector tool on the right side, these dev tools on the right side, you will find this at the bottom of the web page of the developer tool. Alright, so the size we want is 1000 into 350, but the size we have in coding through BE is, wow, it is very big, 1700 into 1200. So how do we crop this image? There are two solutions. We can either crop this image using some inbuilt tool. For example, you can use MS Paint, or you can use Preview for Mac, or you can use GIMP, GIMP, which is a free open source tool for editing images. If you don't want to edit images, you can also simply go back to the page, click on snipping tool or whichever tool you want, and simply select. So as you can see, right as I move my cursor, it shows the dimensions right here. Check out this space when I move it. There we go. So what we want is 1000 into 350, right? 1000 into 350. So this is the size that we want. A little up and down will be fine. So let's see which area can we select which looks good. Maybe this one looks fine. So I'll select this portion and click capture. This becomes my first image. I'll quickly see it in Finder, rename it coding skill. I'll write coding through B, same name, but I'll write here small, so that I realize that this is in smaller dimension. I will again copy it by pressing Ctrl C. I can also right click and make a copy. To paste it, I'll go back to my project. I right click, paste item. I can also press Ctrl V to do it. Now I'll go back to my code. As you can see, coding through B small is here. In IntelliJ, when I open it, the size is 2000 into 710. If you divide it by 2, it will almost become 1000 by 350, which is fine. So let's see if it works. Coding through B small is the image I want. I'll go back and I refresh. Wow, so the size is almost perfect, right? So let's quickly go ahead and add similar images for other services as well. If you are making a website of your own, which I really hope you are not just copying my Beyond Exams website. The aim of this entire module is to personalize your website, not copy Beyond Exams website or W3 Schools website. So one service was learn a skill, that's done. I'll go to revise your syllabus. Again, I'll select the snipping tool. The size is already pre-selected in Mac. If it is not already selected in yours, please reselect it and make it 1000 into 350. Which section should we take this time? I'll choose this one. For revise your syllabus, capture, show in finder. I'll rename it to revise your syllabus. And as you can see, I follow a very strict naming convention where I use underscore between words and I don't use too many symbols. This makes your naming files very easy to manage. Plus, a lot of times when you use space or colon or some other symbol, it leads to a lot of errors. This is the most standard way of naming your files. Separate them with underscore, and that's about it. I'll again make a copy, paste it on my code, in my code files. There we go. Revise your syllabus is here. I'll add it here to the second image, 2 out of 3. Similarly, we need to replace the third image as well. Which other service do we want? YouTube playlist to be exams. You can choose some other image. You can also search images from Google. Perfect. I'll again see it in Finder. Playlist to course. Small. Control C. Go to code. Paste it. My file is here, so I'll replace this file with playlist to course. One thing you'll notice is the extension we are using in this snipping tool created images are PNG, while the images that W3 Schools recommended were in JPEG format. So please ensure that even the file extension is correct and the name is also correct. Now, one advantage of using JPEG is, you see the file size is 21 kilobytes, 21 KB, but if you notice this PNG image, it is 650 KB, which is around, I think, 30 times a JPEG image. So JPEG images are usually much smaller than PNG. If you want to make a production ready website, a professional website, it is important that you save storage so that when somebody loads your website, it loads quickly. So right now it's fine because we are working with localhost, but if you want to actually use this website of your own, I would really recommend converting these PNG images into JPEG. Anyway, moving forward, let's see how does our slideshow look now that we have added our own images. So I'm pretty satisfied with these 3 images. If you are not satisfied with your images, go ahead and change them. One thing that we notice in the start is, so the background of this page is white. The background of this image is also white, because of which I'm not able to identify where this slideshow starts and where it ends. So it would be great to have some border of some kind here, right? One more thing which we noticed is that these icons are almost not visible when they are not selected, and user won't really be able to find out how to scroll through it. They can obviously scroll through this, but since we have these buttons, it is important that they are visible in all images. So let's go ahead and solve these two problems one by one. The first is adding border. To add border, I hope you have already studied CSS border property. I'll go to W3 schools. So there are lots of kinds of borders that you can add: dotted, dashed, solid. Please go ahead and explore this CSS borders documentation to understand how it works. So there are a lot of CSS borders properties. One is obviously what kind of border do you want. Do you want dotted, dashed, solid, etc.? I personally prefer solid border, and for that you have to write border style solid. Then we have border width. How thick do you want your border to be? 5 pixel is very thick. I'll probably want 1 pixel to make it small. How do we add that? You add border width, CSS property. All right, then we have border color. Let's see which color we want, but the property is border color. All right, that's about it. Let's get started. An easy way to test it is go to inspect element. I prefer keeping it to the bottom so that I can see my entire visible area. I'll select this image and I want to apply a border, right? But do I want to apply the border to this image, or what other option do we have? Now there is this image. We also have this 1:3, 2:3 written over here. We also have this caption text written over here. What I would prefer is the border is placed outside these three components. Why? Because they come together, right? So I will personally apply this border to the parent, right? This my slides fade. Let's see what kind of border can we apply. One was border style. I'll want solid, okay, but it's too thick, so I'll use border size. No, which property? Border width. Border. As you can see, I am writing it here in inspect element so that I can test it first, and whatever I like I will use that in the main code. Border width is 1 pixel, which is perfect. Now border color. So this looks okay, but I wish this boundary was not so dark. So I will change the border color, and what I would prefer is gray color. What would be the hex code of gray color? Let's quickly search that. Gray color hex code. So it says hashtag 808080. Let's go ahead and try that. So I hope you watched that video of number systems. The crux is you don't really need to know how to you need to have a basic understanding obviously, but apart from that, whichever color you want, you can easily search on Google and you'll get it, everything about the gray color. Alright, this makes sense. Hashtag 000 is black, and as we go down it keeps getting gray and gray and gray and gray. What I would prefer is very light gray color, maybe this one. Okay, yep, this is much better, much lighter. While we are on this topic, I have seen in a lot of places that they use some kind of shadow. So if you look at beyond exams courses, you see there is this light shadow right below the card, and when I hover over it, it gets highlighted like this. I would really love to add such shadow in my code as well. So let's see how I can add short shadow. What do we search? HTML. I want shadow on the border, so I'll search HTML shadow border. So there we go, CSS shadow effects. Yep, this is exactly what I want. Wow, looking really great. So we have text shadow and box shadow. Text shadow applies shadow to the text. We don't want that right now. Then we have multiple shadows. No, I don't want all this. Box shadow is what I am looking forward to, but this is too dark. No, not this one, not even this one, not even This is also not looking great. This is also not looking great. This is also, so I'm not very satisfied. This is looking great. This is what I want. So how did they do it? Over the card they have chosen width, all right. This is the box shadow they have used, all right. You can obviously go ahead and understand how these box shadow values work, all right. Horizontal shadow, vertical shadow, then the color of the shadow, similarly left, right, top, bottom, something around those lines, inset parameter changes the shadow from an outer shadow, something along those lines. So you can study and see what all these values mean. I'll quickly go ahead, copy it, paste it over here. Yes, there we go, looking very nice. It is giving a very good 3D effect to this entire view, which I really love. So these are some CSS properties that I've used to make my slideshow component a lot better than what W3 Schools already offers. So this is the slideshow component that W3 Schools offers. It doesn't have any shadow, it doesn't have any border. We have made it a little better, but we have only done it in using inspect element, right? This code is not permanent. As soon as we refresh it, it will get deleted. It's very important that you paste this code even in your real code, which is over here. So we have changed in styles. Let's quickly make sure that all this code is correct. So we have added border style solid, border width 1 pixel, border color DC, which is gray, and box shadow. And if we press next, oh no, the box shadow and everything is now deleted. The reason for that is we have not used a class which is applied to all these three cards. We have simply hard coded all these values on this element. You see this element, we have hard coded these values in this element. What we would prefer is we have a class. For example, we have this my slides class. Maybe we can apply all our CSS to my slides class, or we can also add a class here, border with shadow. This becomes my class. I'll apply this class to all three, and I'll add my custom CSS to this class, border with shadow. And what are these CSS properties that I want to use? Oh no, all my CSS is gone. Alright, I'll do it from memory then. One was border style, which will be solid. Then we have border width, which was 1px. We also had border color, oh no, color, which will be hashtag DC. We also had box shadow. Now this one I had simply copy pasted, so I'll go ahead and do that again. This is the box shadow that I want. Copy and paste it here. Perfect. Let's see if it's the same. This is exactly what I want. Is it applied to all three? Yes, it is applied to all three. Why? Because I had added a class and set the same class to all these three components, to all these three divs. This is looking very good. Two more things that we need to update before I end this video. This is a very long video. Let's wrap it up here and we can continue in the next video, so that the length of each video is almost the same. Alright, I hope you found this video interesting. Have a nice day everyone. Jai Hind.